Everyone on Not a Straight Line Live, this is your Act 1 beginner's call. Beginners to the stage, please. Act 1 beginners.
Well, that wasn't at all ironic, was it, dear listener? So yesterday's episode, the one where I bigged up my friend and collaborator and audio engineering maestro, Matt Bliss, what's the worst possible quality recording? The one where I attempted to record straight into Riverside. Anyway, if Matt hadn't waved his magic wands and put on his white kid gloves to massage that into shape, probably wouldn't have been able to put anything out yesterday at all. So anyway, it kind of just proves the point that when you've got a process that works and that works well, don't change it for change's sake. Make sure you figure out exactly why you're making a change. And the change is actually based on a misunderstanding. Matt had said something in conversation and I thought he meant one thing and he actually meant something else. So I went ahead and recorded in Riverside. And yeah, so from that one little hiccup, so many things to take into account and take it off going forward. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about this morning was going back to those videos. What's really weird in recording these daily episodes is that I lose track of what I've talked about when. Was it yesterday's episode that I talked about the videos from a year ago? I think it might have been. Anyway, whenever it was. And I'm thinking about those and also in relation to email correspondence with Jason Leister. And Jason, if you're listening to this is the ramble audio thing that you asked me to reflect on in light of your recent emails. I thought it would be efficient to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. And what Jason posed to me, the question challenge or whatever, was to do with the fact that I've got this podcast, Not a Straight Line, but I've also got the podcast that kind of fronts the Activate Your Podcast service. It's the collaboration with Rob Drummond and Matt Bliss. And Jason was asking the question of how and where do they fit? Although Jason is all about not being in a box in terms of find a way of getting abundantly financially compensated for who you are, not what you do, not what box you can fit in. Said, but the challenge, I guess, is that the world understands boxes. So at some level, at some aspect of the communication, you have to put yourself in a box so that your ideal client, your ideal audience, can identify where you are. And then once they've done that, then you can start the process of energetically communicating your real value, which is who you are, fundamentally who you are. And Jason commented that he was confused that he had come on the Not a Straight Line podcast. Excellent episode, by the way, released a few months ago. And then he started getting emails from me about this other podcast, the Help Before You Sell podcast. And he was just asking the question, where does it fit? And then in light of the videos that I talked about the other day, that I recorded a year ago, one of those videos I talked about the two problems that I can solve. It was stimulated by something that I read from Dan Coe, and he said, if you can solve a problem, you've got a business, and that's fundamentally what Jason's talking about as well. You've got to solve a problem, but you've got to solve the real problem. And in that video, I talked about the two problems that I was attempting to solve for myself at the time, which I've made huge strides in solving over the last year. Is I was not expressing the fullness of my creative and artistic life. I am an actor, first and foremost, an artist, and I was in a full-time driving job. And in that also speaks to the second problem, is like, how do I extricate myself from that full-time job, which is probably providing the financial means to live and pay the bills and support family and all that sort of stuff. So it's really quite a tricky problem if you think about it, because the older we get, the more responsibilities we have, and the more entrenched we get into the life that we've made for ourselves. But I absolutely, fundamentally believe in second chances. And they can be metaphorical, and they can be physical, and they can be literal. It could be like me going to drama school in my early 20s, thinking that was going to be my life's trajectory, getting 5 or 6 years into it, realizing that I don't know whether it's fair to say I didn't have what it took. Certainly from a mental resilience perspective, I didn't have what it took to keep going, because if I did, I guess I would have kept going. And in light of what I've learned subsequently from people like Jodie Bentley and Izzy Stevens and the like, Ray Coleman, that the life of an actor and a creative is not just an artistic one. There is an entrepreneurial aspect to it as well. As you know, if you know anything about my story, you know that I then spent 20 years in business and varying degrees of success and failure, both in air quotes. You probably know my views on that. And now I'm at a point in my life where I am taking a second chance. I'm making a second chance for myself at this creative career. And another person that springs to mind is my friend Katie. She's a primary school teacher. Very soon she will be an ex-primary school teacher, and she is going to be a writer, a full-time writer. She's coming around a little bit later on this morning. We're going to have a chat about what that might look like in terms of collaborating with each other. I'm an actor and producer. Actors and producers need words. Writers write words. You know what I mean? It's like there's just... As you start making active choices about the life that you really want to live and move forward in that, then magic starts to happen and people show up and things can happen. And kind of lost my train of thought a little bit, and I'm aware, Jason, that you're probably, hopefully, listening to this. And I think, and it's something that came to me in my morning breathwork session today, that just an increasing clarity about who I am talking to in these daily episodes. And it is someone who has the same two problems that I identified and articulated just over a year ago in that video. And I'll put a link to the video in the show notes so you can see it. And this is my box, if you like, Jason. I don't know whether that fits your criteria, and I'm going to come on to the Help Before You Sell in a second. But ultimately, my conversations with guests, which drop on a Wednesday every week on the Not a Straight Line podcast, are inspiring stories about people who have constantly made decisions which have resulted in second chances, third chances, different chances. Basically, it's an indication that you keep moving. It doesn't, not that it doesn't matter if your life zigs or zags. Your life will zig or zag, and each zag is a second chance, is another chance to move towards that life that you really want to live. And yeah, I was saying my breathwork this morning just had this real certainty that these daily episodes are talking to, I guess in a way, talking to the version of me from a year ago. You know, what is it that I would want to hear and see and feel and experience to get the confidence to make decisions that are going to move me closer to the life that I really want to live, as opposed to the one that I am living now because of whatever pressures I have put on myself or taken on from other people. And also, I was thinking during my breathwork about recording a video on this for LinkedIn. I don't know whether I will or not. But one of the things that I'm doing with the Activate Your Podcast guys is sending connect requests on LinkedIn to bring people into our network. We're all doing it, so we're kind of expanding our network so that when we run webinars and stuff, we've got more people we can talk to about that. And oh my God, obviously, as you're going through the list, you're seeing all the people's titles and descriptions, and they are overwhelmingly so boring. And I just thinking, like, talk about training us that our value is in what we do. You know, 95% of, if not more, of the LinkedIn titles are, this is what I do, so therefore this is what I do, so this is my value. What would it be like if, and I know it's never going to be on LinkedIn, but what would it be like if there was a platform where your title description was who you are? And it's difficult probably to articulate that for a lot of people, but ultimately that's what I want to create. That's the environment that I want to be in, a world where people are just so clear about who they are and the value that what that is can bring to the world. So kind of looping back around to the Hell Before You Sell podcast, I think, and Jason, this is probably more to you than any other listener, if there are any other listeners to this episode. I think it's largely well, firstly, I'm not sure if you saw, I sent you 2 emails in response to Module 6. I'm not sure if you saw the one where I was talking about the Not a Straight Line podcast. So I'll send that again just to make sure. But I think it's, I think largely it's a question of communication and expectations, and that now with this increased clarity about the Not a Straight Line podcast, particularly the daily episodes being for people who want to break out of whatever kind of situation, institution. And I'm also thinking about my friend Rene Ramirez, who was incarcerated for 16 years from the age of 15. And he came out, and, and you listen to his episode and hear about the personal growth that he went through while he was in prison. And, if anyone deserves a second chance at any kind of life, let alone a creative one, it's Rene and people like Rene. So that's definitely an aspect to the whole second chance for me. So, where are the people that have the problem that I solve? Well, they're on LinkedIn. They're trapped in the my value is what I do They're trapped in that prison. They're on LinkedIn in jobs that are slowly killing their soul, destroying them, and they know that there is a version of themselves which they want to get out into the world, and that there is a strong artistic aspect to that, whether it be music or acting or painting or dancing or whatever it is. And I want to help them. I'm solving, and I'm in the process of solving that problem for myself. I'm obviously not driving anymore, and my experience over the last year is positioning me to be able to help people who are where I was a year ago get to where I am now, and beyond. So hopefully, Jason, again, this is to you. Hopefully that clarifies the Not a Straight Line podcast. I value, obviously, your response to that. And I think the Help Before You Sell is it's a different audience, and I need to communicate with people that come into my world directly to me. I need to communicate with them differently, and maybe not even put them on the Help Before You Sell email that goes out, and maybe Rob fronts that. Maybe that's more of the container for Rob. Although in that also I am a podcaster, and that's one of the boxes, and that's one of the podcasts that I'm in. So I hope there is some semblance of energetic thread through that, Jason, talking to you directly, that you can pick up on. And listener, if you're not Jason, I hope there's something that you can pick up on there as well. And if you do feel trapped in any way, physically or emotionally or spiritually, and you know that there is a version of yourself, an artistic version of yourself, a creative version of yourself, that you know that when that's out there in the world is going to be a better place. Not only for you, but for everyone who engages with your energy, then get in touch, please. I don't know what form my help with you can take right now, but let's start building the community and creating the life in the world that we all want for and with each other. Yes, here endeth this relatively long ramble talk, knocking on 18 minutes. So I've enjoyed chatting with you, and go out, have an amazing day, because you're an amazing human. I love you. Bye.